Welcome back, everyone. It is yet another episode of Regiment on the Run. I once again forget which number this is. 9, maybe?
I think it's 9, yeah.
Well, regardless, at the end of our last session, the wonderful Regiment on the Run, the ones from the title, decided to flee into the underways in order to escape pursuit by undead. Now, you guys are here in a deep gnomish village. This deep gnomish village is a bit of a crossroads, and the gnomes were not terribly pleased with you guys after your behavior in the last session, but thankfully things didn't escalate too far into violence, and so the army was allowed to actually take a bit of a breather, gather some supplies, treat some of the wounded. None of them are back on their feet. They've been crushed by a bunch of falling rocks. Speaking of falling rocks, how you feel about how your tunneling skills are doing lately?
Feels great shame. He has gone to ritually shave his beard to atone for his sin of cave-ins.
Is he actually shaving his beard?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Terry does not try to stop this, but Terry might have a camera on hand.
Are there cameras? Or is it just like a rubbing? Let's get a rubbing of with no beard.
I'm just picturing Terry saying, okay, hold still while I put the paper against your face.
Cameras exist in Vigas.
Do they? Okay.
They do, but they are kind of crappy.
It's just Polaroid. That's what it is.
It's true.
We don't have modern day digital cameras here. It's Polaroid.
Okay, so shaving his beard. You have caused 2 cave-ins. Many people were injured. You are clearly not particularly dwarfy.
Wait, are you trying?
I have brought great shame on my ancestors.
Is this supposed to be a glass?
Atonement must be reached.
Apparently that is...
Where is your chief mining engineer?
Okay, Zann is going over to the glass blowers. Tiny Senpai appears. It is a deep gnome with a completely unpronounceable name who goes up to and says, "Are you the one who dug that incredibly unstable cavern system?"
To my great shame.
Well, we need to review it right away. I mean, for all that there are a lot of glaring mistakes, we want to preserve the tunnels as best we can.
Yes, bring me to your most dwarven gnome.
Dwarven? No, who cares? We just have to get the work done. And he immediately starts heading down towards the tunnel, shouting orders at various workers. Do you follow?
This is the most dwarven gnome.
Can gnomes grow beards?
Of course they can grow beards.
I would have thought that the most dwarven gnome would be the gnome with the longest beard.
Well, it's just that none of the gnome tokens that I have beards.
That's hence my question.
If you look closely, he is covered in a thin down.
Gnomes can grow beards. It's just they end up looking like lawn ornamentation.
one of those fake beards.
It's made of ceramic, so it counts.
A beard made of ceramic. That has got to be the worst beard.
Well, they used to make pillows out of ceramic.
So, Tiny Senpai then proceeds to order around everyone, maintaining the tunnels, shoring up slopes, and just in general making sure that another cave-in does not happen. He also puts together that is responsible for most of the things going wrong, and harangues him nonstop about the proper way to inspect a site for whether or not it's safe to dig, and all sorts of other digging concerns. It is both enlightening and humiliating.
Grudgingly admits that he's actually never been allowed to dig anything before. He was a runesmith, not a tunneler.
Tiny Senpai says that this is quite obvious because has clearly never actually dug a tunnel in his life.
Ert's just sitting there going, but you could show me.
I intend to show you. Now, come on, we
Excellent.
got a whole tunnel to fix. And
You
Tiny Senpai
stay there.
Oh, go ahead.
You stay there. Ert's gonna head back and get like all of the non-wounded army and Katie for this.
Oh, he's bringing the whole army.
There is
Terry's gonna
me at this, and
Terry's gonna have to stop you.
Yeah, Terry is going to have to stop you. But we'll
Okay,
get to that.
so we're at the camp right now. So Ert is just rocked up to Terry and the army.
So I'm going to cut over to Terry for a moment. So, Terry, there are
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of things to fill out that, are really required so that you don't all get arrested. You guys committed quite a few crimes, it seems. Only starting with unauthorized digging. There's also the death of a messenger animal, assault on several individuals, causing several cave-ins, acting belligerent, responding with force to lawful authority. It's a mess.
Racism.
So much racism. So,
You know,
Terry,
Zann hates Boingo and Zann hates deep gnomes, so Zann might actually just be racist against gnomes. We're not sure yet.
it's true. So, Terry, the bad news is that you have to deal with all that crap. The good news is that they actually have forms in place so that you can deal with all that crap. The even worse than bad news is that the number of forms that you have to fill out seems endless.
And he also has no time whatsoever to himself to while filling out these forms.
So please imagine, while you are in the middle of handling the forms that will prevent all of you being arrested and tried for your crimes, Ert rolls up to the camp of soldiers and drafts them all to go digging again.
Yeah, Terry looks to Ert and goes, if you want the entire army on this, you're going to have to fill out some particular forms. And he points to the one that's just as high as, those 5-drawer filing cabinets, just a whole pile. And he goes, and you have to fill that out in triplicate.
It's literally taller than Ert.
Oh, yeah.
Almost as tall as Terry.
Well, you see, the thing is, I talked to the head gnomish mining engineer, and he says he's actually going to let us sort it out. So all those ones about illegal digging, you don't need to fill those out.
So is he going to let us sort it out? Or is he going to sort it out and let you follow?
I As you are asking this question, somehow, despite being shorter than Ert, Tiny Senpai looms ominously above Ert's shoulder. His eyes might be glowing with a demonic light.
Terry I'm gonna take it as the latter. You're not getting the army.
Tiny Senpai grabs Ert by the shoulder and says, digging permits. You didn't fill out the digging permits!
And Terry, just rubbing the side of his forehead, going, it's okay. I'm getting the necessary paperwork for retroactive permits done right now.
Tiny Senpai looks a bit suspiciously at Terry and says, you're taking responsibility for this one's poor behavior.
Terry just points to the pile that's taking up half the room of finished forms. And I'm taking responsibility for a lot right now, if you can't tell.
Tiny Senpai looks contemplative for a moment, then nods, and begins dragging Ert backwards. Ert's legs do not move. He leaves a double furrow in the ground as he is dragged away.
Terry looks to one of the generals of the army and is just like, if Ert tells everyone to follow him for any sort of digging expedition whatsoever, you tell him no.
Belladon Ezrin is the one who speaks up, and she says, actually, we just have a standing order to ignore Ert unless otherwise directed by you or Zann.
Yeah,
Who gave that order? Was that Zann or Terry? Because I remember it.
I think that was me last session.
Yes, it would not surprise me.
Terry. Oh, that must have been Zann. Perfect.
Speaking of Zann, the army actually has a bit of news. Terry, you've been kind of heads down in all this paperwork, and Belladon Ezrin has a little bit to tell you, which is that Zann has apparently gone missing.
Of course he has.
They actually hired the CRT in order to scour the town and find where he might be. For some reason, Pep just laughed at him.
Good Pep. Pep's a real trooper.
Why don't they just follow the bodies?
I didn't kill anyone yet.
But, yeah, the army is kind of worried that Zann might be the one to start some sort of incident. But don't worry, Terry. They can totally handle this while they're also treating their own wounded and filling out some other forms and resupplying and making sure that Urt doesn't do anything stupid.
Sounds legit to me.
Terry is
So, Zann, what are you doing?
Zann.
Terry's
Oh, sorry. Go.
so Terry's just asking, can he please just get Zann's squad in here? He's just gonna ask for a favor.
All right. And so they actually do manage to flag down the CRT. With the CRT's folks actually being gathered in order to talk to Terry, I'm very quickly going to cut over to Zann. Zann, what are you doing in the first, 20 minutes that you arrive in this deep underground gnomish village?
Zann stealths away immediately. It's just like, I'm out, peace. Like ducks down an alleyway. It's dark because it's a deep gnome city, right? And he just looks for the most like abandoned looking building he can find that has just nobody around.
All right. You do indeed find a building, and it appears to be some sort of workshop.
I go inside and it's workshop. So look at the furnace. Does the furnace have any fuel in the furnace, or do I
There
need to?
seems to be a stockpile of fuel set beside of it, and there also seems to be various supplies for crafting and artisanship.
Well, Zann brought his own supplies because he's been glass blowing for a minute. But he checks. He says, "Okay, it's got a furnace. It's got fuel." Goes to the door, locks the door, barricades the door again, and then shuts the windows, blacks them out with charcoal so that they can't be seen through. Like he is in this room and nobody is coming in, right? And then he lights a fire in the furnace and starts just de-stressing.
So the second he sits down and starts to blow, that's when the earring goes off.
Oh, great!
Yep,
My
Davis
ears.
probably just removed it, man.
Yeah, I probably would have
Oh.
taken off the earring. You're talking about the earring
The
of
message
message,
earring.
right? Yeah, I would have taken that off.
That's when you get the message from Terry going, "Have you seen Urt?"
No, that'll be like when I put the earring on and pick up on my glasswork and get ready to move out, and then I hear it and I drop everything and it crashes on the floor, right? Anyway.
So, Zann, you set up shop in this workshop and you begin glass blowing. And I believe you do actually have a glass blowing skill on your sheet.
Yes. Glass blowing
Go ahead
tools.
and roll it for the class.
All right, just once.
Just once for now.
19.
All right, Zann, you're a little bit rusty at this, but after a little bit of experimenting, you find this furnace burns a little bit hotter than you're used to, and you still have all your proper supplies, so you managed to make some very nice glass creations. It's relaxing. And for once, nobody is screaming at you. Nobody is telling you to do things. Nobody is whining about how they aren't allowed to go kill a bunch of your soldiers. This is wonderful.
I make a glass mushroom that looks like Toad's head, right?
Yeah.
I make like a nice glass horn, like an ornamental horn, and then I make a couple glass gnomes. I smash them, and I make something else with them after making the glass gnomes.
I think Zann is just racist towards gnomes. It's not even about Boingo anymore.
It might be. We're not. I'd like to say no because I'd like him to not be racist, but also the fact that his biggest issues have come from gnomes might
Look,
be.
we already have Urt, who's apparently racist to everything but dwarves.
So I guess this are we the bad guys? Are we the racists?
Yes. I thought that was implied by the giant invading army and the crystal full of souls.
Well, I'm not Empire, okay? I'm just a mercenary. Yo.
And Urt's not Empire either. He's a dwarf.
None of us are Empire. We're all just stuck with all these Empire soldiers trying to keep them alive because for some reason we value human life.
That's just how we keep Katie going.
Well, you giant nerds. So, Terry.
Yes.
Do you actually hit up the CRT in order to find where all of these wonderful, wonderful gnomish creatures are having trouble with Zann? It's just like, he's got to be causing trouble somewhere, right?
Well, less asking if he's causing trouble and just more going, all right, you know your leader. He was pretty upset, I could tell. So what does he do to de-stress?
Pep responds that when he needs to de-stress, what he does is he finds some place quiet in order to be, and then he starts pursuing arts and crafts projects. And Pep says that she's pretty sure where Zann has gone, so you can check if you like.
I'm now picturing, you said arts and crafts, I'm now picturing Zann with toothpicks and marshmallows.
I
I'm
know, right?
imagining Zann and macaroni art.
You know what? To be fair, Zann would be super down for macaroni art right now. Not even kidding.
It's just Terry just says, "Yes, please. If you could just check up on him. I don't need you to bother him. I just need to know approximately where he is."
All right. And so Pep takes a certain ace up her sleeve over to check on Zann, and that ace would happen to be snowblind. So please imagine, Zann, as you are glass blowing, there is a knock at one of the windows, and you hear Pep's voice.
Pep, I'm busy.
Pep says, "That's just fine. Do you not want to be disturbed?"
I would prefer that, yes.
"Unfortunately, I have no idea where you are, and I can't report that information to anyone. I have not seen or heard of you."
That's my gal. That's my gal. There we go. As she's walking away, she hears a crash because Zann like dropped one of his glass pieces, and a whole
Oh,
lot of
dear.
swearing, and then deep breathing, and he starts again.
Oh, Lordy.
When he gets back, Terry doesn't need to know the exact location. He just needs to know that he's not causing trouble. If he's just doing arts and crafts somewhere in a building, that's all he needs to know.
If somebody shows up to try to take their house back, there might be trouble. But so far, that hasn't happened.
Pep then says to Terry that it is an unfortunate shame that she could not, under any circumstances, tell Terry where Zann is. However, it would probably be wise for her to take Farn and Zara and York and just set up a guard around a completely innocuous place.
Traitor.
Terry just nods and says, "Hold on a minute," sits down at the table, see him fill out about a dozen forms, hands them over, and goes, "This is everything we're gonna need if he's commandeered a building."
Pep takes the forms, looks them over, and says, "I can probably get Farn to help with some of these. Hold on just a minute. Actually, don't hold on a minute. You keep doing your thing. I will come running and screaming if there is a problem."
Terry's already filled out most of it. All he needs is like the signatures of the squad who is going to be standing guard.
All right. At that point, Zann, you get
Mhm.
back to your arts and crafts, and then, after a little while, you hear a faint murmuring outside of one of the windows that quickly quiets down. You believe you recognize Farn and Pep's voices.
Pep.
There is a knock at one of the windows, and Pep says, "Nothing to worry about, Zann. Just having a talk with someone.
I see.
By the way, how long do you think you want to stay in there? Because we can have some food arranged to be sent to you."
I brought food. I still have.
Excellent. All right, then unfortunately, there is no way to evict you. Great to know. He sounds absolutely delighted.
Zann would have brought some of the. We still have tons of meat from the giant woods, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
Mushroom Land, and Zann would have brought some of the weasel as well because he wanted to do something with the fur. He was going to make something out of the fur, so he would have brought some of the fur from the weasel, and he would have brought probably like a frog leg. I don't remember which animals we had, but probably like a frog leg.
Oh yeah, you have plenty, and I mean plenty of food.
Yeah.
And Zann, I will now have you roll your crafting skill twice more.
Twice. All right. I'm gonna press the with advantage, but it's just gonna be just so we see two rolls. It won't be because it's actually advantage.
All right.
24 and a 10.
All right. So Zann, you really get into the swing of things for a while, and then your mind starts wandering a bit, and you feel that you've more or less exhausted your, time alone. You are not interrupted at any point, and you actually feel relaxed. It has been a while that you've been stuck inside this workshop, like more than a day.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And so, Zann, you have created some very interesting creations and some rather basic ones. Even with your roll of 10, you still have a pretty goddamn high modifier, so even your less impressive creations are still decent creations.
I thought the roll was 24.
It's
Oh,
20.
I got 24 and 10. I rolled with advantage, but it's actually just because I was lazy and didn't want to press roll twice. Sue me.
Ah, gotcha.
Sue me.
Terry has not
So,
had
so
a
what
chance
what is your
to-
best piece?
My best piece is probably I have a very, very, very good toad head, like a glass toad head that I'll probably give to Terry later.
Toad is going to be so excited to see it.
And then after that, the next best thing would probably be like a glass fan. And then the 10 would be like every time he starts thinking about the blasted, every time he hears a dark gnome voice outside the window, just twitches a little bit, messes up a little bit, you know.
Would you make anything practically useful? Cups and glasses and whatnot?
There'd be some bowls for sure, glass bowls. I think I made glass vials a while ago, like a few sessions back. So he probably would have warmed up with some vials, just some basic non-decorative vials. But most of it would have been decorative pieces. The glass
Okay.
bowls could be functional, but they'd mostly be decorative. In terms of you could use it if you wanted to, but if I see you using my glass bowl, I'm going to throw you out the window.
All right.
that kind of thing.
So, with that, I'm going to cut over to Terry. So, Terry, you have been working your butt off. There
Nice.
has been absolutely no time for rest. It has been more than a day, 24 hours of nothing but paperwork.
And talking to the other deep gnomes and jumping through loopholes and making sure that the entire goddamn army has a safe place to camp out.
Question, DM: does Terry have to roll for carpal tunnel?
We should make him, honestly. You know what, Terry? Let's have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
As somebody
It's a
that
flat
actually
D20.
as somebody that actually has carpal tunnel in both of his wrists, you have to roll for carpal tunnel.
17.
All right, Terry. You are actually holding up pretty well, all things considered. You are pacing yourself. You're making sure that not too much happens at once, but also you're still completely exhausted. And your gnomish contact, Overseer Kals Nothrovic, that wonderful guy, he has a little bit of news for you, because there's a report of someone having taken over a workshop inside of the city.
Oh my gosh.
Harry nods and just goes, "Yes, I'm aware. I've already filled out the paperwork."
The overseer flips over to the paperwork and says, "Of course you filled out the paperwork, but it seems that someone else has also filled a couple of more forms. Someone by the name of Fairn?"
Yes, that was for the guards, essentially, just to make sure that he's not bothered.
I'm not loitering, I swear.
That part was in there, but Fairn actually did something more. The owner of the warehouse wasn't actually using it.
Oh?
Yes, it was marked as abandoned and not actually industrial property for the moment, and the owner was actually taking a loss because it wasn't in use. It was a waste of space, you see. So, Fairn actually negotiated with the owner to classify Zann as a one-time worker in order to produce some artistic decorations.
If they try to take my arts and crafts, oh boy.
The overseer says that depending on how things go, Zann could just be released with no harm done, because after all, Zann didn't seem to be using anything that was currently in use by any of the other deep gnomes. All the paperwork has been filled out for that. But the overseer brings up that these glass arts and crafts could actually be a great benefit to the deep gnome society as a whole.
Oh boy.
They could either be paid for with money, or, considering all the problems that have been cropping up, you could also say that these glass items are a gift in order to smooth relations with the deep gnomes as a whole. Regardless, Zann is also entitled to a wage for his work inside the workshop.
Terry just nods and kind of sighs and says, okay, whether we buy it, whether we use air quotes, buy the glass from the deep gnomes, or Zann decides to gift them, I leave it up to them. As for the wage, the money should go straight to Zann.
Very well. And so, Zann, as you're winding down, getting bored of your glasswork, there's another tap at the window, and you hear Pep's voice. Hey, Zann!
Yes, Pep.
We're getting more or less ready to head out again, but we got something to discuss first. Would you mind coming over so we can talk in person?
Zen goes to the totally blacked out window and says, yes.
All right. Pep explains a bit of the situation, that Farron found a legal loophole that means that you actually get paid for your work as a glassblower, regardless of whether you give up any of your pieces to the deep gnomes. They are sticklers for their workers getting paid.
Oh, so it's like one of those. Okay, I understand now. Zan hears this. It's like, okay, that's kind of nice. Looks over to the last piece he was working on, which is a glass gallows with a glass gnome. Like, The gnome is a separate piece from the gallows, right? And he's like, he thinks better of it. He's like, Terry wouldn't appreciate that. Goes ahead and throws away the glass gallows, but hands over a couple of the glass gnomes that he was making before. He hasn't quite broken them yet. He hasn't gotten around to it. It's like they can have these. That's fine.
All right. Pep takes them and says, if you want to hand over more of your pieces in order to smooth relations or even just get paid, you can tell us.
Zan's going to keep the toad head for sure. He's got to think about the fan. He would have handed over like the everything that he doesn't consider like top-notch stuff. So like the bottom half, the bottom 50% quality, he'd hand that stuff over.
All right.
He's got to think about that fan though. I think he wants to keep the fan.
Pep tells you to take your time. After all, you are taking a break from your long work shift.
Oh, what's my hourly rate?
Hands through a bag. There are 200 gold coins inside of it.
Oh shit! What? That seems exorbitant, but I'll take it.
And says overtime rates.
Part of that too is if you want to quote unquote buy your own work, some of that can be garnished from that wage.
I see. I have to think about that.
Well, regardless, Pep encourages you to think about whether you want to sell the majority of your work or keep it. Pep does seem to operate under the assumption that selling it would probably be useful, but she will not force you. She is allowing you to make your own choices, and all the paperwork is filled out no matter what you want to do. So all you gotta do is just hand the pieces over, and the deep gnomes won't even talk to you.
I see.
They're being very accommodating.
I'll probably keep the toad head, keep the glass fan, but hand over like the bowls and stuff, the glass bowls, the glass plates,
The glass guillotine.
the glass guillotine, the glass Iron Maiden.
It just very, very gently, like, just knock off the little gnomes from those first.
Well, no, the gnomes are separate pieces with detachable heads too. It's a very functional
You
set.
get out some paint, you just draw beards on them. They're dwarves.
They're dwarves. Oh no, they're not actually gnomes. It's just really small scale. They look like they're gnomes. They're just really small scale. Okay, you're actually humans.
Wait till you find out what they're going to do with these. I'm sure they're going to put them in their like museum of historical battles from when we defeated the Empire. The relics we took from them.
There's a glass set of like knives, but they're not like super short or super sharp rather. They're just like, really nice glass tableware that you would never actually use, but they look like tableware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ert's getting ready to run in on Terry.
Meanwhile, Tiny Senpai has dragged Ert through every inch of the tunnel that he crafted, pointing out all the flaws, having Ert personally shore them up, you are both deeply ashamed and you feel that you have learned a great deal.
But what's more important is I found out that there's a spot I can practice all the digging I want to.
Terry just very deep breath.
With
And
no
then just
permits.
asks where.
No permits at all.
Okay. But
And it's
where?
free.
Okay. But where?
Pulls out a map and is like, down.
Tiny Senpai marches on up and says, "Don't listen to anything this idiot tells you."
Terry goes, "Oh, don't worry. I never really have."
What a trooper.
Erd is just so crushed. He thought he was building a bond here.
Tiny Senpai raises a hand and says, "There is actually something that I want to put on the table, and I did tell Erd about it, but apparently he wildly misinterpreted what I meant."
This is Terry going, "That's why I was trying to get more details." And he looks to Tiny Senpai putting his pen down and just, "Please inform me."
You guys have been in a hot shit because you've, dug a whole bunch of tunnels that nobody had authorized. And this was a tunnel that we were in the process of renovating. And so that's where most of the paperwork concern has come through. That's why we actually do all of this beforehand instead of afterhand. He gestures to Terry's obviously very tired state. But then Tiny Senpai goes on. There are other tunnels that we have that are significantly less protected, including one that I told Erd about that is condemned.
Okay.
This tunnel is something that we call the Haunted Sprawl, and it's haunted because it's apparently littered with traps and ghouls and ghosties. Nobody wants to go down there because the risk of liability is way too high. None of our workers want to die in the attempt, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere that we find particularly useful. All of our trade opportunities are in other directions. So, if you wanted to go that direction and dig your own tunnel that would make it actually safer, not only would we not have any objection to it, the fact that you are doing the work on a condemned area, making it more habitable, would mean that we have to pay you."
He nods.
Gnome culture is so weird.
It's not just gnome culture. These are deep gnomes. This is Underdark.
Oh yeah.
And Erd just adds, and it's undead. We can just leave Katie on.
Oh wait, Zann has magic fists. He can punch the undead. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Just Terry, just okay. This all sounds incredibly promising, but I feel like there's a catch.
Well, the catch is that you'd have to go down there and you'd have to deal with whatever undead are still there, and you still have to finish up the paperwork.
Right, the paperwork.
Yeah, come on, Terry. Get that paperwork going.
Terry
Jeez.
just kind of rubs one of his eyes, going, "Right,
Terry's mascara smears.
I'm almost done." Terry does not wear makeup.
Tiny Senpai raises a hand and says, "Most of the paperwork that you're actually doing is just things to alleviate fees and whatnot. If you actually just paid money, for example, if you had some easy access to gold or even trade goods right now, most of that paperwork would be moot."
Terry, just unfortunately, that's a resource we are low on. We don't have mainland gold.
No, but I have heard that someone recently monopolized a trade shop that was seemingly abandoned.
Yes, but I do not know how fond he would be of making more than he needs.
Well, that's a question. But just wanted to put it out on the table there. You still got about a half a day's left of this. Terry, you've been at this for a day and a half. The idea of another half day of doing nothing but filling out forms fills you with a deep and existential dread.
Terry just kind of sighs. He's gonna call the overseer real quick and go, "With all the forms I've filled out so far, with the other half day I have left, how much are those fees if I just pay them?"
The overseer says that your fees equate to roughly 1,000 gold right now.
This is why you should have literate people in your armies, Mr. Empire, because not having anyone literate besides Terry and Farron, I guess.
Yes, Dan.
Hey, Zann's a
Terry just
mercenary.
Terry's gonna see if Zann's put his earring back in and just message him real quick.
Does Zann have his earring back in?
Like, I'm. Is this happening at the time that Zann is like putting his items away, like giving them up for sale, or like when is this happening?
This is happening right when Zann is choosing what he is and is not willing to give up for sale.
He would put his earring back in as he's going to leave.
Okay, Zann, as you are gathering your stuff in order to give it over to the gnomes, Terry chimes in.
Just Terry going, Zann, are you there?
Yes.
Good. I've heard you've been doing some crafting.
Pep.
Outside, you hear Pep. Wasn't my fault. He asked for a report.
Just Terry going, I have a favor to ask of you. I have been at this doing nothing but paperwork for the past day and a half. I have not had a chance to rest. I have not had a chance to do anything else but paperwork. And with all of that done, I still have a half a day left, unless we pay about 1,000 gold in fees. And then we'd be done.
I could find out where their black powder is. We could set it up around the city and bury the city in rubble. That'd probably solve a lot.
We are not going to do that.
Okay. What's your other what's your request?
I was wondering if you would like to do a little bit more craft work.
Remind me, how long do we have before we're kicked out of here? Is it just a half day that we're gone?
As long as it
Pretty
takes.
much just a half day.
Okay. Oh, so we're stuck here until the paperwork's done. Is essentially how this works,
Pretty much.
or until we pay. Okay.
Mhm.
Zann would totally be down for more glass blowing time.
All right. So, with that, Zann, do you make one final glass blowing roll in order to get Terry out of the last part of his paperwork?
Sure. And based on the roll, I'll tell you what I make.
Barry has
Alright,
also
yeah.
asked you to let Farron know, because Farron can write out like the 2 pieces of paperwork you need for that continuation.
Oh yes, Farron already has it on hand.
Yeah, Zann would let Farron know. I got a 16. So he'd be making, just since this is for sale for the gnomes, he would be making just tons and tons and tons of gnome figures. However, the features are going to be very unflattering features. He's just going to call it abstract art. It's abstract art, man. I don't know why you're upset. Very unflattering features on all of the gnomes. But it's subtle enough to where you'd have to be a very intense, like, well, I don't know. I'm trying to make it subtle enough to where you'd have to be a pretty good art critic to notice the negatives, and instead you're like, oh, this is a pretty good gnome. It should look like a pretty good gnome until you get really close to it, and then it should look very unflattering.
Of course. All right. So, Zann, you do this, and the deep gnomes actually seem very pleased by the results. You move the rest of your... go ahead.
I said, Zann would say, what a bunch of fucking idiots.
The deep gnomes do not seem at all offended. Even the ones who actually seem to be, familiar with artwork do not seem to be particularly offended. And Zann is thanked for making these expensive trade goods and for saving the owner of this facility a significant amount of expenses. I am waiting for the snarky comeback. Zann is...
Oh, no, Zann wouldn't say anything. No, he's just like... He hands over the stuff, and he doesn't want to talk to them.
All right. They seem to find this attitude completely acceptable. And Zann, you are allowed to return to the army, who are packing up. Terry, you did still have to fill out a few more forms, but Zann, Pep, York, and even Zara helped. Although in Zara's case, it was more glaring at people until they stopped trying to explain all the sub-clauses.
York doesn't know how to write either.
York does, in fact, know how to write. He's his fighter archetype is Runesmith.
York's is? Wait a second. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, my bad.
I think Erd just makes the runes for him.
You got. I'm just laughing at the idea that everyone assumes York can't write in the squad just because they all think, oh, he's not that smart. I'm sure he doesn't know how to read. And then there's Terry walking up just to York going, can you please look over this for me? Yeah, sure.
Well, it's more of like we're mercenaries. It's like, Zann knows how to read and write because he's the leader, and you need to know that as a leader. Farron, because she's actually educated. Pep's got a little. She's not great at it, but she can. She can read for sure. Zara, maybe not Zara. And then York would be kind of just because like none of us went to school.
I assume that Zara can read enough, just enough for things like pub menus and wanted posters.
Pretty much.
But nothing like the legalese of a form. But someone
Yeah,
like
no.
York being a runesmith.
How did I forget he was a runesmith? Dang.
Just fucking throws everybody through a loop like, well, York, you can read? Yeah.
I have a rune of understand languages.
Comprehend
Comprehend
languages. Read like jeez Louise.
No, you can't comprehend them. You can just read them.
So the army is getting set to march out. Zann rejoins with the rest of the forces after some time. Ert is pried away from Tiny Senpai and sent back to his army because Tiny Senpai currently is not taking violently insane apprentices.
Ert demonstrates that he has even shaved his beard in shame. He has repented his previous ways.
Tiny Senpai squints and says, you just trimmed your beard by 2 inches.
I also took a bath of shame.
Tiny Senpai says, you should take more baths of shame.
Zann walks up, hearing this, and puts a hand on Ert's shoulder and says, Ert will be taking a bath of shame every time there's a bath available. Right, Ert?
Ert just glares at you. You do not understand the cultural connotations of what you speak.
Zann glares back, and Zann's bird eagle glare is way scarier than Ert's glare.
Ert's just going to go over here and stand by the crystal.
Yeah, Terry just sits there and goes in a bit of a mocking Ert voice going, I don't need a bath, that's what prestidigitation's for.
This is when Ert's like, what's prestidigitation?
No, that's how we do everything in the Empire.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, so Terry, you managed to get a little bit of sleep, so you actually had a not completely awful time, thanks to Zann actually being a team player in this instance.
Yep, plus, enough for a at least a short rest, because he does have astral trance. All he needs is a short rest of 4 hours.
Yes, you would have had enough for that. So you did technically get enough sleep, but there's a difference between enough sleep to keep going and enough sleep to be happy.
Oh yeah, no, he is still exhausted and pissed off, but at least he's awake and aware.
So, you giant nerds, we are now heading over towards the wonderful second part of the session, where we actually go into the Haunted Sprawl. So,
yes, real quick, Terry would fill in Zann with this thing. They're just saying, like, all right, so here's the deal. We're going to get paid to go excavate and create a tunnel out of a haunted and abandoned cavern, while at the same time getting the heck out of here.
Ert leans out from behind the crystal. It's free souls. Just sitting there in corpses.
It's
walking
apparently
around.
Haunted and full of the undead.
Zann pipes up and says, that's actually pretty convenient because I just learned how to do this. And he like flexes his hand and there's like a little shimmer around the hand of key energy. He's like, I just figured out how to do this a little while ago. So I can actually punch a ghost and have the ghost hurt after I punch it.
Ert waves one of his +1 hammers around. Yeah, and
I mean, you want a ghost hitting competition, we can go for it, or let's do it.
Urt's just gonna use Katie for that.
Hmm. Does Katie just straight suck up the ghost, or do we have to kill them, right? And then it'll suck up after. Like we have to
If
destroy
they are
the.
not bound to anything, Katie will just suck them up.
Oh, okay. This might be a lot easier than I
And
thought.
yeah, and Terry is going, and because almost everyone's undead, unless it's someone like with actual communicative ability, which is not many, I will not stop you.
I'm down.
All right. And so we are going to transition over to our next map with a little bit of strategy meeting before we fully get going. Let's do a drink break right now.
Okay.
Like 5 minutes then, right?
5 minutes.
4.5 minutes.
Heh.
Do I hear 4 1/4?
Four and a quarter. 4.25.
So, let us resume. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of our session, where our wonderful party members are going to be scouting out this supposedly haunted cave. And I will say, first things first, when Urt comes by with the turned-on Katie, the first thing that happens is a little bloop as a couple of spirits just get zooped up. And I will grant you 1 free point of runic energy for that.
Yay.
Does it make a noise?
Yeah, it goes, holy shit, and then just vanishes.
Urt just smells the smell of ozone crackling in there, and he goes, "Smells like efficiency."
In any case, that's just one little blip. That's a bit disappointing, honestly. But here is the thing. After having learned the error of your ways from your tiny senpai, Urt, you do not think that it is wise to have the entire army come through this supposedly haunted cavern all at once, before it's even been scouted out and appraised. So it's probably for the best to send some sort of, forward operating force in order to scout things out and make sure that the dangers are accounted for.
This sounds familiar.
Yep. Go get your flag for the bird and the helmet for the elf.
Huh? Oh, I understand.
Meanwhile, Toad in the background going, I have leveled!
Oh, seeing Toad, Zann remembers. Hey, Terry, here you go. Hands him the toad head, the glass toad head. Don't drop it.
Oh, thank you, I think. Shows Toad.
Terry, hold on. I have to get you the proper hat.
That looks like a baseball cap.
That's
Terry's a
right, because
baseball fan.
apparently we were using the wrong colored hard hat the entire time.
Orange is wrong?
Apparently orange is not for, it depends on what role you are in a construction site, is what color hard hat you get.
Oh.
Ah, so as the inspector, I bet you usually get blue.
That or white. I don't remember what white is.
1 second. Let's see, an OSHA
That's the
hard
best I can
hat.
do. It's as blue as I can make it.
An
That's-
OSHA hard hat is white.
Yeah, white. Yeah, I was about to say.
There. Now it is whitish.
That's.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
That's about as white as you can get, I guess. That's like white skin color. That's like my
Okay.
skin.
Let's do this. Let's get
Here we go.
surveying.
Wait, I found it. White is for supervisors, foremans, and engineers. Brown is for welders and those working with high heat. Green is the safety inspectors and occasional new workers, and yellow is for earth movers and general workers.
So you get green.
So Terry would have a white one, while pretty much the rest of the army and Urt would have yellow.
Urt has canny.
And
How
Toad has green.
Safety inspector.
I can't get the hat centered on Terry's head.
Hold down the Alt button.
Understood. There we go.
Hmm?
Okay, so what do we find?
All right. Inside of this cave, you find that it is dark, and it smells like nobody has been here for a while, and you hear a faint humming of machinery?
Machinery.
Yes.
Interesting.
Which direction do we hear the machinery sounds?
Multiple directions. Zann, you would be able to tell from your superior hearing and eyesight that there is actually machinery throughout a lot of this tunnel.
What does it appear the machinery is doing?
You have no idea. A lot of sounds are overlapping. Most of them are very faint. But you know that there are things happening here.
Okay.
Bird has no idea what it is. It looks primitive as shit.
Zann looks over to Urt and says, you're the one that got trained on how to tunnel, so get tunneling.
Okay, so first step first is scout the area.
All right, Urt.
Gets up, gets Canny ready. Catapult.
Do you just catapult yourself or Canny or?
Canny. Just
Okay,
as far
where
as
are
he
you
goes.
catapulting Canny?
Zann's sitting next to Urt holding a torch, being like, I wish you catapulted this, but
Grabs it and shoves it into Canny. Ready?
Canny's like, now.
Excellent. Go, my minion. Fly.
All right, where do you fire your wonderful minion?
That way.
Okay, Canny. Canny is launched this direction, splats onto the ground, and there is a ka-chunk, and the entire ground falls away.
Nice.
And then there's a distant splat.
So, you remember that conversation we were just having about walking on ceilings?
Yes.
This might be a good time to try that out.
Zann flies over the hole that
Then
Canny
perception.
and tries to see if we can find Canny. Perception.
Or can just resummon him.
Oh, okay.
Canny is eternal.
I only got an 11. That's with a +7 modifier. That's kind of sad.
Okay, Zann. Now make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I'm good at those too. 20.
All right, Zann. You are flying this way. You just barely react in time as a goddamn net is released from the ceiling, specifically seeming to target anyone who tries to fly over the pit.
Nice.
Nods sagely.
And the net flops down over the pit, and now it seems that you will have even more trouble getting to Canny. Oh no, the horror, the shame.
Just summons a new Canny.
Zann looks up at where the net came from and looks for any, for the hole that it came out of.
You do indeed find a hole that it came out of. It looks like whoever prepared this place had a lot of rainy day contingency plans. It occurs to you that whoever was paranoid enough in order to do that probably has a lot more surprises sitting in store for you.
Zann is interested to find what the trigger mechanism for the net release was, because did I feel like I hit a wire or anything, or what triggered the net to fall?
It felt like there were a few threads of spider silk that you broke as you flew.
Wonderful. Zann goes back to Urt and Terry and says, pitfall traps, net traps, spider silk triggers. It's gonna be fun.
Ooh.
I suspect a race of underground spider people.
This is the Underdark, I guess.
Lungthunk steps up and says, boss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a big glowy crystal on my back. Can I light the way?
How much light does it give off?
It gives off rather a lot of light, actually, because of all the energy.
It could give off more light.
Oh boy.
Terry, give me my lamp back.
Terry I never took your lamp.
I gave it to you.
Yeah, he gave it to you when you went to the mystery bar, the barred bar.
Oh, that one. He hands it over.
Okay. I take my lamp of see invisibility and I put it on top of Katie.
And immediately, the lamp of see invisibility spreads out to a large pool of light. Bam.
Do we see anything that was invisible?
You do actually see something that is invisible. There appears to be some sort of trap trigger right around here. It's just on the edge of what you can actually witness with this.
Urch is going to grab a mold earth rune and shake the cavern floor like a sheet.
You know many reasons why this is a bad idea.
Really? No, I legitimately think this is a good idea. This is not me being a shitlord.
You're using mold earth to do what?
To set off the trap.
The bottom of the cavern floor like a sheet.
Oh, I was gonna try to disarm it, but if we want to do that, we
I was just
can.
gonna go set it off.
I mean, we can, but if it's like poison gas or something.
Or sets the floor back down. Or we could just go the other way.
Yeah, with Katie's light shining in there, it appears to be a bit of a dead end.
That's no good.
Yeah, we don't want to go dead end. Zann doesn't see anything worthwhile in there.
Not that you can tell, no.
All right.
All right. Meanwhile, Toad in the background. I am safety inspector.
Just says OSHA, and then smacks something.
Oh, I left his hat. Shoot.
The dead end is not OSHA compliant.
All right, you nerds. It looks like the cave loops back on itself over around here. You're not sure if that's worth investigating, but the cave also appears to branch off. And there are two separate directions that you could go, straight forward or around the left.
Ert's just gonna carve a bit of the wall away on the left so Katie can get through.
Zann
Okay.
turns back to Ert and says, Ert, did you get like a map of this area, or are we just going in blind?
I got it right here. He pulls out a piece of parchment. It says, "Here be undead,"
It's true.
Oh, great.
and it's a topographical map of the desert above.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we're just going in blind here. Can we get Katie to move forward just a little bit more to see if we have any more trap triggers?
Okay. Katie scoots on forward, and you do, in fact, see a couple of triggers around here.
Are they more threads?
Yes, they are more threads. It does not appear that anyone of human size could actually get through this passageway without tripping some of them.
But gnome size they could.
Potentially.
Okay. Can Zann attempt to, while flying above the ground and staying first Zan's gonna throw a rock below, like not trying to hit the strings, but he's gonna throw a pretty heavy, not like a light pebble, but a pretty heavy rock on the ground just past where the strings are.
All right, you throw it. You hear it clack into something. It doesn't seem to have clacked into stone. It seems to have clacked into something metal.
On the ground?
Yes.
Metal on the ground. So I'm gonna assume that's a pitfall trap. We're gonna assume. And Zann is just gonna fly up in the air just a little bit, just feet not on the ground, and he's gonna try to disarm these wires.
Okay.
Terry,
that is
get up
going
here. This is gonna be good.
All right, Zann. That is going to be a sleight of hand check.
I'm okay at these.
Yeah, it's dexterity based.
21.
All right, Zann, you manage to disable it, and then, as you continue on a little bit, you see that there is indeed something set into the ground. It appears to be some long troughs, and they appear to house metal blades that are only barely poking out above the surface. Your rock was very lucky to have hit one of them.
Nice. So it's one of the buzzsaw, like a buzzsaw trap sort of thing.
Yep. I just put it on the token layer.
Oh, hey, look.
Ert looks at those. I think the floor is still structurally good there.
Yeah, probably. Do we have any way of? Can we?
Do you want to set off the ceiling trap?
I thought I disarmed the ceiling trap.
Yeah, you cut basically all the threads without setting them off.
So it should be totally safe in terms of the ceiling traps. I don't know if the thread could I tell if the threads were also, if some of the threads were also connected to the buzzsaw?
That is going to be a perception or an insight.
They are the same for me, so I'm gonna roll a perception check. 24.
All right, it seems like a few of them were connected to different mechanisms, but it also looks like you got all of them. The cheeky bastards who made this place, apparently they had a buzzsaw specifically going across the ceiling for anyone who tried to jump or fly over.
Nice.
Okay, I'm just gonna seal this whole layer over, and Ert just starts paving.
I was gonna ask if Mold Earth could like actually fix this.
No, we're just gonna pave over it. It's like
Also-
let's see you spring up through this.
As somebody who's played Orcs Must Die, putting your buzzsaw traps on the ceiling isn't as effective as you think.
I know, right?
Really disappointingly, yeah.
But in any case, You guys cover over the traps now that you know where they are. Everything seems to be going reasonably well so far. Maybe this won't be as difficult as you thought. All right, you continue onwards. I'm going to reveal a little bit more of the map.
The
Famous
DM
last
said
words.
no. Yeah, the DM said with raising no flags whatsoever.
I know, right?
No, there's a flag right here.
Yeah.
You, man. Okay, so Lunk-Thunk heads forward, and you notice that there is another trap trigger somewhere around here. Zann's passive perception picks it up as you go past.
Do we want to check that side tunnel? Do we care about that side tunnel? He asks the rest of the group.
Hmm.
As they write OSHA on it and a giant X.
We can at least try to disable the trap. The more we disable, I'm sure the more we'll get paid.
Ert looks at Katie and taps it. Nah, we're not getting anything for these.
Toad looks up to Ert and says, "Gold."
Terry just stares at Ert and I meant actual money, not souls.
Uh-huh.
Zann will just go and try to disarm this one as well.
Okay, that is going to be another sleight of hand. By the way, Terry, you are a bard. I just want to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to give Zann inspiration so that he doesn't get, smacked by something, that would be fine.
Zann can have an inspiration.
I'm just imagining Terry there, deep bags under his eyes, just hating that he has to be here, and going, "Hey, don't fuck up."
Inspiration.
Sounds about right. I got a 17. With inspiration? I don't know if I've hit the do I get to know if I made the threshold or before I roll my inspiration, or do I just roll my inspiration beforehand?
I am going to make you guess whether or not this was enough before you roll your inspiration.
17's pretty dang good, right, guys? 17's good. I'd say 17's pretty good. We'll keep the 17. Hold on to the inspiration die.
All right, you keep a 17. You hold on to the inspiration die, and you disable the trap.
Zann dies. Oh wait.
What kind of trap was it?
A giant battering ram.
Well then.
Oh, it's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, because it assumed that people saw the saw blades or didn't want to go around them, and so they tried taking the other path.
Terry looks at it and goes, "Can we actually take that? It might be
Can we take
useful."
that?
Zann sees if he can cut it down.
All right. Zann, Terry, and Ert, between all of you, you can, in fact, cut that down and get yourself your own battering ram.
Cool.
Let's give it to Katie.
Yes.
Fun fact, I had a suspicion that you would do this, which is why the sheet that I have for Lunk-Thunk is one that is wielding a battering ram.
He is a Tauren chieftain.
I want to put it in his hands.
This, by the way.
Putting it in his hands. Here we go.
Oh, lordy.
All right, so let us move forward.
Wait, we need to establish something.
Yes.
Or goes up to the battering ram. He takes out a hammer. He gives the head a bit of a whack. Does it make a squeaky sound, or does it say "ow"?
It makes a squeaky sound.
No.
Brilliant!
Real quick, I know you said battering ram, but I heard battering ham.
No, he said battering ham. He just misspoke. I was going to say something too. I'm glad you brought it up. He definitely said battering ham.
Aren't you the cunning linguist?
You know what? I might do something then. Just one moment.
Oh, and Leo, you have to every time Lunk-Thunk attacks something, you have to put in a squeaky sound over top.
No, you don't.
It's required.
Sorry, Roll20 is being a bit of a butt for me. It isn't loading all the stuff that I want it to load, so just one moment. Something is wrong with Roll20. It's not actually loading any of my tokens or assets anymore.
Weird.
That's okay. I drew a ham anyway.
Might be a problem going forward. I will let you all know. I will keep the ham at present. Anywho, so let's get back to it. So, Ert, Zann, and Canny, you are now in another fork of the tunnel.
What do your bird eyes see?
Well, let's get Katie up here so I can have the light to help out.
All right, Zann, go ahead and roll me a perceptor.
27. Wow, I'm rolling good today. That's kind of scary because that means I'm gonna roll terrible next time. 26.
Okay, 26. You do, in fact, spot a trap trigger right here. It seems to be more cleverly concealed than the others, but as Zann actually gets over to it and starts examining it, well, not everything is in perfect order. So, Zann, when you get over there, you notice that the trap appears to be some sort of, like, boulder on a rope trap, where if you hit the tripwire, it swings down and crushes you. But there's a catch for this one. Because, you see, the boulder on a rope, the rope's been there kind of a while. You have serious doubts about whether it could actually hold the boulder in order to swing it into your face.
So the rope's like rotting and like falling apart.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, this thing is a safety hazard in every respect.
If I reached out and like cut the rope attached to the boulder, is it going to swing towards me or is it going to fall straight down?
Fall straight down, you'd guess.
Okay. Zann
Or gives you the flag.
Zann quickly sharpens the tip of the flagpole so that it's a little sharp, and flaps up a little bit over the ground just in case the ground falls through. So he's a little in the air, and he slices at the rope.
Okay, you slice at the rope. I'm going to have you roll me another sleight of hand or dexterity saving throw if you like.
I'm actually better with a dex saving throw, so we're gonna do that. Not an attack roll. Okay. Natural 20. Why am I getting good rolls on all of these? This is scaring me.
I know, right? All right, Zann, you quickly cut through the rope. The boulder falls exactly where you thought it would, and it rumbles some things, and in fact, it actually triggers the mechanism for another trap. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on the token layer.
How?
How does it trigger that trap over there?
This just raises so many questions.
And this trap starts flailing around, apparently in response to the vibrations, and it very quickly gets jammed on a bunch of stones and debris.
Okay, I need you to roll for which way the fists go. Because as they stand right now, I say that's a 1d4. What other rolls do you got, numbers? Come on.
I got a 4. The fists got jammed, and apparently they are, Shoggy thinks that they are flying off into the distance for some reason.
Okay, no one got killed.
Do they just fire off? Is that what you're...
Well, if they had, I was trying to see if Canny would die.
Ah.
Let me get rid of these.
Yeah. Also, it seems that the image hosting server for Roll20 is having some serious problems right now.
I love everything being a web browser.
I know, right?
Okay, so good job, Zann.
Let's just transfer this campaign into Baldur's Gate 3. That's totally doable, right?
I'm going to start a full pacifist campaign and see what I can do. It's going to be horrible. You guys are going to hear me complaining for hours on end.
God.
It's miserable playing like that. All you want to do is kill people, and you're not allowed to. Okay, which way?
Yep. One moment, I'll reveal a little bit more of the map.
Yeah, I would poke my head down both ways to see, after disabling the traps, to kind of like see what's going on.
Okay. Let me just go over here and put an X on this guy. X. X. All right. So Katie has been sent down to the right passageway, it seems. Are you gonna peek down?
We're
that
checking
way, or-
both. We're checking.
Yeah, I'm checking both. I want to reveal both ways just to see like what I can see before we choose which way to proceed.
So we're at full revelation.
All right. One moment. You guys are heading over that way. On the left.
No. Yeah,
We
we're
want
seeing.
we want to look down both pathways to see, are we going left or right? Which looks better? We
I'm
want
sorry.
to look.
I'm just trying to figure out which way you guys are actually going first.
We don't
So-
know yet. I'm peeking. So I'm at the boulder trap, and I peeked there, and we revealed that. Now I'm going to go to the arm trap that we've disabled since it's not there anymore, and I want to see, can I see anything forward here? Because we barely revealed anything up here. I want
Yeah.
to see. Can I see anything up there? Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Okay. So that was what I was trying to figure out. All right. So, Zann, you head up to the northeast. You examine this area. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh, I was going to ask which way the rest of you guys think we should go, left or right.
Well, I'm
Straight.
not going to have it spring on you, but I am going to have stuff happening, like with perception checks, because you got to find this stuff.
Urt's just knocking a hammer against the wall. I say straight.
Denied. I got a 27 perception.
All
You have
right.
a nat 20.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got it at 20. Zann, you are so incredibly on top of things today. It is actually fucking terrifying. So, there is a gas vent trap over here. And there are several spike traps over here. And I'll put them on the map in just a moment. And there also appears to be a poison gas trap. It's just a lot of traps, and Zann spots all of them, and it's just like, you know for certain you are getting close to the end of this shit.
So straight, right?
This top right one you said was a gas trap.
Yes. When triggered, it will release a bunch of gas.
Zann goes back to the group and says, "You guys want spikes or you want a gas trap?
I say we go straight.
You really want to go straight?
Terry, he just wants to dig a tunnel.
Is it?" Zann asks, if you dig the tunnel, will it be in compliance with the deep gnomes?
Tiny Senpai has revealed the ways. The secret is to make sure it's entirely a circle. Flat floors are for wussies.
I feel like that's wrong, but because that'd be a pipe, not a tunnel.
Yes.
Urt, roll me an investigation if you actually want to do this.
I mean, Urt wants a lot of things.
Roll me an investigation if nobody stops Urt from doing this.
Zann is off disabling the gas trap because nobody gave him a real answer.
Urt did almost as good without a crit as Zann did with a crit. That's how good Urt is.
It's the same modifier, but a 19 instead of a 20.
Shit.
All right, Urt, you tunnel through. You are actually able to get past. Zann, that is going to be another sleight of hand check for you.
Zann gets gassed while Urt's just on the other side, like, I don't know why you even bothered to go that way. I got a 20. I still haven't used the inspiration die because I haven't needed to.
All right. You disable the gas trap, and Urt has gone the last of the distance. And now it is time at last, for you guys to see there is a way out. There is a way forwards. It looks like this is the end of the traps. But Zann, as you proceed, there is one last perception check that you must make.
Okay, I still have the inspiration die if I need it. I am going to use it as a D8 now. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh,
It's a date.
My keyboard is not in English right now. My bad. All right. All right. Good rolls have ended. Everybody, good rolls have ended. We have a 13 on perception. It's average. It's average roll.
You are faced with the deadliest threat of all. You stumble into a pie on a spring.
Does it hit me? Do I get a chance at a dexterity saving throw?
This is an attack versus your AC.
Oh, that's never gonna hit me.
22.
Shields. I have 24 AC.
You shield, and the pie breaks off the spring, and the ancient confectionery bounces along the ground like it was made of stone, which at this point it pretty much is.
Nice.
Urt checks it. Dwarf battle bread. We must be getting close to the Dwarf King.
Zann just looks at Urt and is like, sure, Urt. We need to find this guy some medication, Terry.
I'm just Terry, there is no amount of medication in this world that can cure that man.
Meanwhile, Toad looks over to Terry and says, Osha?
Osha?
Terry just pats Toad's head and just, yes, Toad, Osha.
Osha. And Toad then goes around putting little markers on all the traps that you've found so far.
And when he comes back, Terry just gives him a little head pat and says, good job.
Toad is proud. And so, with that, you guys are transitioning onto the last map of this particular scenario.
It turns out you're back in the Deep Gnome City.
Fuck no.
Ert is like, shit. I'm totally gonna fail my apprentice exam.
All right, and one moment, because I actually have to get your wonderful hard hats. Just a moment.
I'll make a new flag.
You really like those flags.
They're very easy to draw. And it reminds everyone that you have a 10-foot pole in your inventory.
I have a really hard time drawing with a mouse.
All right, you nerds. So, with this, you proceed into this last area. This area seems off. Like, it's dark here. It is powerfully dark here. Everything outside of Katie's light is completely invisible, even to characters that have dark vision.
Do any of us have dark vision?
Ert does.
Ert has dark vision.
Yeah, I've got dark vision as well.
He's up at the edge of the circle and he's like, we're getting close to the Dwarf King.
So, Terry and Ert, outside of the circle of light that Katie gives off, it seems like there's literally nothing.
Interesting.
Hey, bird boy, get over here.
I can't see in the dark. Maybe we need Katie over here so we can actually see.
No. So, look at the tip of the flag.
Uh-huh.
Got it?
I got the tip of the flag.
All right, Ert, you stick it outside of the ring of light, and it seemingly immediately vanishes as soon as it gets outside of the radius of light.
Okay, pull it back in.
Okay, make a noise when you can see it.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah.
Shut it!
I can see it.
Aha!
Is it in one piece? Did it get damaged at all?
It seems to be in one piece. Zann, your passive perception, you notice that there actually are small marks on the flag. It seems that something grabbed it. It didn't damage it, but something definitely made contact with it.
Interesting.
I didn't feel shit.
We know, Ert.
Probably let's have Katie and Terry and Toad move up.
So Terry will ask Katie to please take a step forward.
Is my name Katie now?
Are you asking Katie or Lung Thunk? Because if you're asking Katie, she'll hover.
Sorry. Yeah, just asking Lung Thunk to move it forward a little bit.
We lost the battering ram for Lung Thunk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm grabbing that too.
Don't put it on the map. We just know he has it.
No, I have to because it's cute.
It really is.
We just attach it to Lung Thunk's
Yeah.
token.
So we should be able to see a little bit more now that the light has moved forward. Terry wants to make a perception check to see if anything skitters into the darkness.
All right, Terry, go ahead and roll that perception.
I will assist Terry.
All right.
So 21.
Yeah.
21. There doesn't seem to be any movement, that comes to light as you move forward, but you have the strangest sense that something in the dark is actually moving. Maybe you heard it, or maybe there was just some impression of motion, but it's got you on edge all of a sudden.
Question.
Answer.
Is this a wall?
You appear to be walking up some steps, and this appears to be a raised area.
Yeah, platform.
I thought this was a wall.
No.
It'd be a really narrow passageway.
This area appears to have been carved out significantly. There are signs that something was definitely here. There are a lot of manufactured stone bricks.
Ert would like to drop something and listen.
Okay. Drop it outside of the ring of darkness.
No. He's gonna make a loud noise and listen for the echo.
Okay. You make a loud noise, and you hear distant echoes. You're in a very large cavern.
I would like to roll insight for how big the cavern is.
That is going to be an investigation, actually. Okay. This cavern is over 200 feet across. This is quite a lot of space.
That's over 33 meters.
Fuck you!
That's actually over 66 meters.
Shit.
No, it would be over. It'd be like 64, something like that. Anyway.
Anywho, so Lunk is just standing there saying, "Do I go forward?"
No, you go up.
Up? You're making him hover?
Lunk tucks in his legs, and Katie begins hovering.
Zann, you want to go scout up there before he hits the ceiling?
Oh, I just look up. Like, are you talking about up top? Like, look for traps? Is that what you're talking about?
Look, I don't know how high that thing is. It might be made of cheese for all I know.
How tall is the ceiling in here?
It's pretty high up.
Does
So
the light
Lunk
reach
is
it?
levitating higher and higher off the ground.
We don't want to go
What
too
happened?
high.
Wait, how far does Lungthung's light radius reach?
It's 20 feet.
What
Yeah,
happens when Lungthung gets 20 feet off the ground?
We don't want
You
that.
are rapidly figuring that out because
no.
the radius of light that Lunk gives off is starting to close in around all of you, except
no.
for Zann.
Yeah,
So
Zann
it's an
flies up
orb.
and has the like, I don't know. Do I verbally command Katie? How do I make Katie stop going up?
You just verbally command.
Okay, I tell Katie and Lungthunk to get back down to the ground, and then I pull Lungthunk forward some so we can actually get some light shed on our surroundings here.
Okay, one moment.
How high up did that ceiling look, by the way?
You did not see the ceiling.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so as Katie steps forward and reveals some more stuff, Zann, you are all but certain that you saw something moving for just a moment.
Where?
It looked like it was straight ahead of you guys, like right on the path.
Okay. Is this a tree on my left?
It seems
it's a
to be some
crater.
sort of desiccated tree. As you look down at it, you notice that it is old as balls. Like, it is petrified.
Zann just kind of mutters under his breath, "This is almost as old as Terry."
Terry not having your shit today.
Well, Terry's got
Yeah.
bags under his eyes and stuff too, so it's like even,
Harry just walks over to Zann
Hi, Terry.
and just smacks his shoulder.
Hey, I gave you a really cute toad glass sculpture.
All right. Lunk continues forward. There are more strange sights as you go, and the darkness seems to close up behind you. It is very eerie. Zann is absolutely certain there is something in here with you, and it seems to be following you and staying just outside of the radius of light.
Right.
Terry, it's really hard to try and click him and his hat. He's looking over the edge over here on this side. Those are bones.
Katie levitates above them apparently for a moment. Yes, there do indeed appear to be bones in this water down here, and there's the petrified tree on the other side. There are also oddly religious carvings set into the sides of these walls and whatnot.
Either of you guys religious folk?
I haven't really
And
brushed.
stop right there. Everyone freeze and do not proceed, because Lunk proceeds forward, shining light on something, and then, as light shines onto what looks like the arc of a rune, that rune arc suddenly begins to glow with a fervent light, and Lunk, hovering as he is over the open air for just a moment, is suddenly drawn towards it, and he starts shouting, "Ert, I can't stop! Ert!"
Boss!
Zann tries to keep up and yells at the others to keep up with the light. Don't get outside the light. There's something out there.
Yeah, thanks for moving Katie around, Ert.
Or just sits there looking at the stick that he's been poking Katie around with and drops it.
So much for looking at those religious symbols.
All right, Lunk is still being drawn towards the circle.
Mold Earth!
We can't see. Can we see what, like, he's going towards the thing?
Yeah, sorry, one moment.
Okay, that looks like a not
Erd
happy.
is trying to mold a wall between Lung Thunk and whatever is drawing him in.
So let me see if I have a spell super quick.
I don't think Zann is strong enough to hold.
So does everyone get an action?
Everyone gets one action before this resolves.
So Ertz is going to be to try to mold Earth a wall in front of Katie and Lung Thunk. What about you guys?
I can help with that, I guess. I think we all are basic equipped with a rune of mold earth. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Terry actually wants to help Lunk Thunk more than Katie.
I don't know why you would ever think that Lunk-Thunk is more valuable than Katie, but
The spell that Terry has, the DM has so very graciously named it Protection from Weird Shit.
nice.
It uses his new instrument. It gives Lunk Thunk protection against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Excellent. Okay.
I'll go ahead and roll it.
All right. All right. So with that, Terry casts protection from weird shit. That goes off just fine. It's going to help Lung Thunk out a lot. Zann and Ert, you are collaborating to make a mold earth wall between Katie and the weird circle.
Yes.
Okay, Ert, the moment you pull out your mold earth rune, suddenly it tries to fling itself out of your hands towards the circle.
What sort of dwarf would let go of his rune?
An unprepared dwarf. On that note, Ert, it is going to be an athletics check to hold on to your rune.
Not strength.
And lucky you, because that was a crappy roll.
I mean, athletics you should be decent at.
Better. It's the same modifier. Ha!
All right. Ert, you managed to hold on to it, and now I will have you roll an arcane.
Has the rune lit up?
The rune is flickering to life. Zann, Ert appears to be having trouble getting the wall up in good order. Are you bringing out your own rune to assist?
I saw Ert's rune get kind of pulled a bit, and so I'll pull out my own, but get ready to hold on to it best I can.
Yeah. Roll me either a dexterity saving throw or an athletics.
Oh, dexterity for sure. That's my third nat 20 today.
All right. Now, Ert, roll arcane again. I'm giving the roll to the person with the higher modifier.
Oh, okay.
What, +7's higher than a +0? No, saying ain't so. Oh my
Nat
God.
0.
Nat 1.
And Erd's like, nah, you gotta hold it harder.
And Ert just cracks it in his fingers.
Shit.
Zed's just holding his rune in his hand. It's like barely getting pulled at all. He's looking over at her. It's like, I don't understand. Why are you like this?
Okay, Zann, because you got that nat 20 on your dexterity saving throw, I will say your reflexes are fast enough to do one final thing before Katie makes contact with the rune circle. What do you want to do?
Well, so looking at the rune circle, like there's nothing, I can't damage it, right? It's not like,
It seems like it's pretty reinforced. It would be difficult to break it.
okay. I'm not magical, so I can't do anything magic-y. The best I can do is try to hold Katie back, like physically.
Question.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
How hard can you punch and or kick?
I mean, I have the gauntlets of ogre strength, so I have a 19 strength.
How far can you throw a character?
Depends on the size, right?
Yes, and I will say that Katie, for all that she is weighty, she does float, like, all the time.
I will try to like pull, like get behind, like latch on to Lung Thunk with my talons and flap the opposite direction. Just fly the other way
All
while
right,
holding on.
Zann, that is going to be an athletics or an acrobatics.
So I'll be like right over here. Athletics or acrobatics? We will do acrobatic. I am proficient in that. Ha ha! Check out my roll of a 3 for 11. 3 plus 8 makes 11.
Terry, I will offer you the chance to do an inspiration if you want, but I will say that it's rather unlikely that he succeeds at this.
He's already inspired.
No, I used my inspiration earlier.
Okay, I'm gonna say Terry can't. Because he's currently in the middle of using the protection from weird shit.
Okay, then in that case, Katie makes contact with the circle, and to Ert's horror, Katie's energy level drops by half in seconds.
No!
And all the runes begin to glow, and at the middle of a circle, something appears to be rising up from below. There's actually like a stone gateway that just like shuttered aside in order to let something through.
So using that comprehend language rune on his clipboard, can he use that to figure out what this rune does?
I will allow you to make an arcane check, Terry.
Arcane. 12.
Terry, you are way too tired for this shit. You can comprehend some of the words, but it is a bit like trying to pick out the words in a Leonard Skynyrd song. It does not help.
Leonard Skynyrd? Don't you mean Leonard Skinnerd?
Yeah, Leonard Skinner.
Yes, sorry.
Leonard
It's
Skynyrd.
Skynyrd.
It's me, Leonard Skynyrd.
Way to reveal you've never heard anyone speak the name.
Fuck you. In any case, there are a lot of random garbled words, and then there is a massive sort of coffin that has just risen up, and there is an unnatural quiet as it reaches the top, and then you hear a shudder.
I would like to call a pause.
Go ahead.
Who here heard puffin?
I heard puffin, and I'm looking for the bird. I want the bird.
Puffin, puffin, puffin.
I do not recommend being there. It might be unhealthy for your health, Ert and Zann.
You might want to get out of the rune.
Out of the rune. Well, Katie's in the rune.
All right.
Sort of like holding on to him from the cat head.
All right. So there is a coffin, and then something emerges from a coffin. A whole bunch of completely unnecessary dramatic mist starts seeping out of it. Everyone is 100% certain that it is illusory. And then there's a creak and a groan, and a towering, powerful figure rises out of it. And it looks like an ancient mummy that looks buff as hell. Seems to rise up out of the coffin. It is about 12 feet tall. It says, we're right on schedule. Who are all of you?
Barry, I am not dealing with this today.
Zann
raises his flag up. Zann, Katie, Elf, Toad.
Osha!
Zann steps in front of Lungthunk, and is like in between Lungthunk and the Lich thing. Mummy, Lich mummy.
Yeah, I don't have a mummy token, so
Lummy.
The mommy Lich, the Lich mommy, and says, "Hey, you just took a whole lot of energy that we need. We're gonna need that back."
The Lich looks to you and says, I do not give things back. I am taking what is rightfully mine. Speaking of which, he snaps his fingers, and a shambling figure climbs out of the darkness. One moment, please. I have to reuse old tokens because of the bullshit that Roll20 is doing right now.
The shambling figure looks like Terry.
No. It looks like a suit of armor magically animated by some internal force. And the suit of armor hands something to the mummy. The mummy looks at it and says, Only 100 years? Mad apocalypses usually last 600 years. The armored figure just gives a shrug, and the mummy rises out of its coffin on a tide of magic and says, Regardless, I have enough energy now to resume my ruling over all the land.
Terry, No, we're not doing this.
Zann looks back to Terry and kind of doesn't say anything, kind of gives Terry the look of, can I?
He just points straight at this mummy guy. It is just like, you have two options. You either go back to sleep and give us back everything you took from us so we can get on our way, or I'm gonna take a step back and not care what happens next.
Raises his flag.
Zann cracks his knuckles, flaps his wings.
Guys, while I generally applaud the direction in which this is going, I would like to point something out. Katie is at what level of energy right now?
26 out of 80.
Okay, how much did she start with?
She started out with a 51.
So that means that this guy has, shit.
25 units of energy.
Terry,
This
just,
guy has 25 units of soul energy in him, including that one really angry wizard guy that Zann beat to death.
Terry going, yes. And he can either give it all back, go back to bed, and leave us alone, or I'm gonna let you two decide what to do next.
Alternately, if I tried to try 25 units of soul energy, my flesh would melt. Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, he's a mummy, dude.
Oh, no wonder that works. Urch is gonna walk up to this guy with a pair of crystals, hold them on either side of him. Holy shit!
The mummy.
This guy's like level 20.
You get closer, and the mummy says, "If you are approaching in order to swear your fealty to me, then you will be spared. This strange crystalline device will be very useful for reestablishing my empire."
Yep, that's what they're for, empires. Now, can you hold this crystal right here?
The mummy reaches out for a moment and then pauses and says, "Minion, do it for me." And the shambling armor minion just kind of comes around, grabs onto the crystal.
Question, is he undead?
Yeah, I'm about to say, doesn't he get just sucked dry?
He just crumbles into the crystal.
Yeah, he actually just crumbled into the crystal.
That wasn't a secret attack of any sort. Shit.
Zann
really
takes out
wasn't.
a sword and swings at. Oh no, it wasn't.
Like legitimately didn't think he was doing a sneak attack, and he just killed the guy's minion. He's like, shit. And just like, oh, I am so sorry about that. You can have this crystal.
The mummy holds up a hand and says, "No, it would be far more useful if you use them on my behalf, slave." The mummy looks over to Zann and says, "Do you think to stand against me? I can now drain the souls from people."
Yeah, Terry's just sitting there going, well, it looks like it completely ignored my offer.
The mummy then looks over to Terry and says, "You will be a fitting diplomat for my empire. No, you will teach everyone to fear me."
And just Terry, no, that is not what's happening. I've already told you. You can either go back to bed, or I let these two have their way with you.
Urt would like to raise another point.
Go ahead.
Look, is this guy any worse than the Empire?
I don't work for the Empire either, though.
You don't?
Not anymore.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? This isn't the Empire.
Urt points at Katie.
Fair. I'm here because my people are here. Also, I kind of like Terry.
Urt just looks over at Terry. Zann likes Terry.
Like,
Terry, just like, Urt, I am not in the mood.
Meanwhile, the mummy, just scowling furiously with his painted-on eyebrows, just screeches, "You have dared to speak back against the mighty Mutin Lamun!"
So, can you say that again, please?
Mutin Lamun!
Mutin Laman.
Yes!
Do you have llamas by any chance?
Are they mutated?
I have an army of llamas that are all currently dead!
Yeah, so are you, though. So can we see the undead llamas?
No. I want to see the undead llamas too. Come on.
Yeah.
The mummy raises both of his hands, and a great wave of power goes out.
Holy shit, that was like 12.
The unnatural darkness seems to recede all over the place, and you hear your soldiers in the background. Contact! We have hostile contact!
Oh,
Excuse me, sir. We have to deal with the thing. We'll be right back.
No! They will be
Very-
excellent fodder for my magical gathering. I still require more power to completely conquer the world.
Terry just,
Well-
all right. Nope, I'm done with this. Zan,
yeah, we're going in.
no, it's just Terry's. Nope, I'm done with this. Zan, have fun.
Yeah, Zan pulls out a sword and swings it at the mummy.
All right, Zann, roll me an attack roll.
Did Urt actually run back? Because I was trying to get a flank with Urt to get an advantage on my attack. Did you actually run back?
No.
Okay. I'm attacking with my long sword, which counts as a magical. All my attacks count as magical attacks.
And
Because
he gets a +1 because Erd is waving the flag.
No, I get an advantage because you're flanking with me.
Oh, same thing. It's a
Uh,
good thing you got that advantage.
Yes, 16 to hit.
All right, Zann, you swing at him, and you get the impression that your blade just passed through empty air. Mutin Laman looks to Zann and says, I will not have disobedience from my slaves. If you will not serve me in life, you will serve me in death. At which point, we roll initiative.
So it's an illusion, is what I got there?
Apparently.
Okay.
Roll your inits.
Unsurprisingly, mummies are not the fastest.
Oh, I have to click my character.
Yeah, I got a 12. Can you enter it for
15.
me?
All right.
We're all faster. Okay.
Third order.
Quick question: was it a magic sword?
All my attacks are magical after hitting level 6. So all my monk attacks are magical. And since I'm Way of the Kensei, all of my Kensei weapon attacks are also magical. So my longsword and my longbow, plus my fists and my talons, all 4 of those are magical attacks. So if he was actually there, it should have connected. If it didn't hit AC, I still should have felt a physical connection. Just it wouldn't have gone through.
Yeah. So something fucky is happening. All right. So Mutin Laman has 10. Zann has 15. Urt has 12, and Terry has 11. So I already had them in the right order there. Okay.
What does Katie have?
0.
0. All right. So Katie will just be going on initiative 0 to keep things simpler. So Zann, you have attacked this mummy thing, and it has apparently just passed through empty air. What do you do?
I'm looking around. Is there anything do I notice anything strange going on around me in terms of the magic rune that I'm standing on, the sconces on the corners of the platform, anything weird happening?
All right. This one is going to be a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. 22.
All right, Zann. The towering figure rising out of the box is a complete illusion. His body is actually still within the box, and he's just kind of waving his arms out of it in order to cast spells.
Zann starts hitting the freaking box and yells out to everyone else, "He's in the box still!" and just starts slashing at the box.
Mutin Laman objects that he is definitely, very definitely out of the box and totally able to slap you. Also, he is very healthy and excellent health, and he looks very imposing.
I take a 5-step. I make a 5-step move diagonal to make sure I'm fully flanking with Urt, and then I start hammering. I start swinging my sword.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
Okay, so regular attack with advantage. 27 to hit.
Minimal damage.
It's been a minute, so let me see if
That
we
is
can...
a hit, and that does damage. And because it is magic, it is not reduced.
I think I can increase this damage. It's been a minute. Give me a second to read. That was one of my Kensei things when I attack with my weapon. No, okay. That's when I attack with a ranged weapon. I'm going to use a key point and stunning strike. So he has to beat, what is it, a 17 DC? Is that right? DC 17 Wisdom saving, Constitution saving throw.
The DC is 8 plus your proficiency plus your wisdom.
Okay, so I did 10 by accident. That'd be a 15.
Okay.
15 DC.
Okay, let's see what he gets. Constitution saving throws. He has pretty decent con, actually.
Oh, well, rip.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, mummies are chunky.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a key point down. Let me mark that key point down.
But you still have more actions, and I believe you can attack twice in a single action.
Yes, so I get extra attack. So here's my second attack for my attack action. Again with the
Stun him
long
again.
sword. I could try.
Please do. If you stun him, we
Oh, that
win.
was not at advantage. Let me roll that one more time. Sorry. 23 to hit for 12 damage or 11 damage, whichever one you want to take. I don't really care which
Okay,
you take.
so that is a total of 18 damage so far.
That was my.
And you're doing another stunning strike?
I'm actually, instead of doing a stunning strike here, because I only have so many key points, I actually want to bonus action flurry of blows instead. So that would be using my bonus action to get 2 unarmed strikes in at the same time.
Okay, go ahead.
And let me make sure I'm reading that right. Stunning strike, flurry. Where's my flurry of blows?
I cannot help but notice that you guys just completely ignored every single trap that could have softened you up for this combat.
I rolled really well on the trap.
Look, just be glad that Zann didn't stun him right now, because that would have been fight over.
It honestly would have.
Yeah, because he had a minion who went over and grabbed Chris' fucking soul crystal.
It honestly would have been game over though if he got stunned.
Yeah.
I could still do a stunning strike as well after this. Like I as long it just burns key points is the thing, and we're level 6, right?
Yes.
So that means that I have 6 key points. I just burned 1 for the stunning strike and then 1 for the flurry of blows, and it is 2. It is 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So
Okay.
they're both at advantage. Here we go. Number 1, 23 to hit for 8. That's a high roll.
Nice.
And second one, 24 to hit for 11. That's even higher roll. All right.
Damage registered.
Say that again.
Damage registered.
Okay. I still have 1 attack action, but I'm going to try with these flurry of blows. I'm going to try another stunning strike. So DC 15. He's got a +8 modifier though, so I don't think it's getting through. But we'll give it one more shot. One more shot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then I'll just use my last attack action to do 2 more longsword swings.
Sounds fine to me.
And get in the damages. 25 to hit for 7 damage.
Registered.
And 24 to hit for 12 damage.
This is the most combat utility that Urt has ever been, and he never had to make an attack roll.
Urt's prepping for his real move here.
Okay, Urt, it is your turn.
Okay. Urt looks at Terry.
Yeah.
Terry, sink him or drain him?
What was that?
Sink or drain?
Sink him or drain him?
I'm just Terry. Go with your gut.
Urt looks at Mutin Laman. Down, boy.
Oh, God.
Mold Earth this guy as far down as his coffin will go.
Oh.
All right, Urt, roll me an arcane.
And bear in mind, before Urt does this, he reaches over and touches Katie. He has cut the giant Katie into this circuit.
Oh, boy.
He's
22.
Undead, but we don't want him to go underground because he's undead. He doesn't have to breathe.
Well, that's why Urt asked. He can either drain him or he can sink him.
Why didn't he ask Zann?
Well, he's asking everyone.
Zann would have said drain, but it's okay.
Okay, drain it is. I rolled 22 Arcana to drain him. Urt touches him and touches Katie and goes, get him.
All right. So, Katie moves towards Mutin Laman, and there is a fierce clash of wills. And I am going to see.
There ain't no sort of will in Katie. She's just a giant ball of souls. Hungry souls.
Sure. So, I'm going to have Katie and Mutin Laman roll opposing con saves.
Wait, now why does he get a plus 10 now to his con?
That was Katie.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, well, there went 12 energy.
No, hold on. It absorbs 20 energy from Mutin Laman.
Out of the 25 that he stole?
Apparently, yes.
That's a pretty good return on investment right there. I don't know.
So I assume that was Urt's term. So as he finishes, he's going to turn to Terry and says, right, so what were you telling him?
Terry, it is now your turn.
Terry's not giving this man another chance. He's too tired to deal with all this diplomacy bullshit right now.
Thank you, Terry, for calling diplomacy bull. No, just kidding. when everyone hears Terry say diplomacy is bullshit, everyone just stares for like 30
Look,
seconds.
I like to imagine where Terry's just like, oh, fuck this. Toad, get him.
Nope, Terry's just going to tell he's gonna warn Zann at least to take a step back, which means you do too.
I will allow you both to step back as free action.
Okay.
Because he's gonna cast a firebolt down into the hole where the box is.
He did not actually go down the hole. Shaw, you retconned that.
Well, I mean, he's gonna throw firebolt on the box, and he doesn't want the group members to get hurt.
Yeah, he's just blasting the coffin.
Okay. Terry, go ahead and roll me an attack roll. You will have advantage because you are going against an unmoving target.
26 versus 18.
I don't think Terry needs advantage.
Oh,
I will still allow you to fish for a crit. Just hit the firebolt again.
is fire bolt? We don't have to stand back for a fire bolt. It's not a AOE, right?
I think you should probably stand back for this firebolt.
Okay. I will
Okay.
stand back.
So, Terry, you send a magical fiery bolt at the coffin. The coffin tries to absorb the fire magic, except that a hell of a lot of weird shit is happening. It successfully absorbs a lot of fire. The entire coffin is now blazing.
And guess what? There's a very flammable undead mummy in there.
Oh, boy. So, the coffin is now on fire, and I'm going to go ahead and roll damage to him. He takes 10 damage from the flames. Terry, do you have anything else that you want to do?
Does Toad act independently from Terry?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
I cannot see the mummy inside the box, so I cannot use
You
half
can
of my
see his
stuff.
arms coming out of it.
His arm?
Yes, his arms.
Okay. Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay, what kind of saving throw is that?
DC 15 for wisdom.
How is his wisdom that high? Nope. He's a dipshit trying to rule the world. I say that he does not have that much wisdom. 11.
Haha!
I immediately regret my decision.
He will be thrown. He is now prone, no matter what. Unable to stand for the duration.
Oh, sure. Kick him while he's down, why don't you?
So he is uncontrollably laughing in pain.
So, would like to raise a question.
What's that?
So, like, I know we want to do, like, a big fight, guys, but, we could just have Toad pick him up and strap him to Katie.
Terry goes, he's on fire. I'm not going to hurt Toad.
Katie won't mind.
Toad might mind.
I am not going to risk Toad for Katie.
But is proposing, like, screw this fight. Let's just strap him to Katie and call it a victory and let him just be absorbed by the soul crystal.
Terry just kind of looks to Zann for a minute, and then looks back to the burning box and then back to Zann and just... I feel like what we're doing is a little more cathartic.
Yes. This is
like, imagine she could have summoned zombie armies.
Staring at the now mentally tortured and burning man. When Terry gets mad, he commits war crimes.
Toad, Just a reminder, you do have an alchemist flask. You can summon oil.
Toad looks up to Terry with his big mushroom innocent eyes.
Terry, just would you like to make the man even more fire?
Toad says, yes.
I just like with such an OSHA-oriented Toad. When Terry starts committing war crimes, I don't think war crimes are OSHA approved. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Toad is like, no.
I don't even think
Enclosed
Toad
space.
actually knows what OSHA is.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us do because it's an
No,
American
he
organization.
sprays oil while yelling OSHA.
Okay, do you want Toad to commit war crimes in the best approved fashion of his father?
Go ahead, throw the little flask of oil into the fire.
The first one, he biffs it and instead sets part of the rune arc on fire, but he has another. That one lands, and the flames get even more intense, dealing 10 more damage.
I can only imagine what's running through this undead man's, head as he cannot say a word. All he can do is laugh.
Oh, God.
I could link you a representation if you'd like.
Each time he takes damage, he does get to make a saving throw.
Okay.
Good point.
He gets
he's gonna-
advantage if it's triggered by damage.
Okay, so he rolls +5.
Incapacitated. So he's prone at the very least, even if he gets the save.
Well, he was already prone.
No, he was standing in the. I thought he was standing in the coffin.
No, he's lying in it, I thought.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
lying in the coffin. He can't actually get out.
Oh, I don't even need flanking then. I get advantage on all my hits. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shoot.
So now it's his turn. He's going to make another saving throw. He finally makes it, but it takes his entire turn to break out of hideous laughter.
How's he looking in terms of health?
Not great. Lunk-Thunk looks to Urt and says, "Is it time?"
Urt is just looking at this like, I think you're fireproof.
Just smash.
Lunk-Thunk
smash the
raises up his battering ram.
With
He's like, no.
advantage.
Other way.
Oh, you want to sit on him with Katie?
Yeah.
That actually makes sense, honestly.
Well, he's still got like how much on him?
At 5 at least. If he had any more, so he's got 5 that he stole from us left, and then
Yeah.
however much he had in him already.
Yes. Lunk-Thunk looks down to his battering ram and says, "No?
Or just like, oh, whatever, go for it, dude.
Okay." And Lunk-Thunk immediately perks up, raises his battering ram as though it's a baseball bat, and then he's going to attack. God. +6.
I'm not seeing these roll. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. And then that is 2d10 +4 as damage. There is a sickening crunch as he disintegrates part of the coffin and makes a heavy dent. And then, chuckling to himself, Lunk-Thunk attacks again. And
Ooh.
somehow completely flubs it. And then Lunk-Thunk looks over to Urt and says, "Oh, maybe this is bad. My bram is on fire. Now it is a smoked ham."
Urt looks at it and goes, bonus fire damage. Hit him again.
She will do on his turn. None. You have a prone guy who is currently on fire near you. You are very
Zann,
glad.
should we put him out before you hit him?
I don't think so.
Zann, you have plenty of weapons. You do not have to touch him to hurt him.
Yeah, like if I step within longsword range, right? Is that too close? It will like catch fire? Is it that bad of a burn?
No, it will be something where you can absolutely stab him without getting the fire on yourself.
Yeah, Zann 5-foot step forward, swings with his long sword twice with the extra attack with 1 attack action. Advantage both times, right? Yeah. So that's
8
1.
damage.
That's 2. Low damage. That's 1 attack action. I get 2 attack actions, so I'm gonna do that again because I can. 16. Does that hit?
That is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay, dang. And 17. Does 17 hit?
That is a reroll.
Reroll. Reroll advantage or reroll normal roll? How does that work?
Reroll with advantage, yes.
Okay.
There you go.
25 to
12
hit.
more damage. He's on
All
his
right.
last legs. So,
I have a bonus action still. If I hit him with my talons, I will take fire damage, yes?
yes.
But he's on his last legs. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and do bonus action flurry of blows and hit him twice with my talons.
Okay.
I'm gonna hope that the fact that my talons are not skin really, it's more like scaly around the edges and then claws at the end. Hope that'll help me out a little bit. 22 to hit for 10 for the first hit.
Okay.
And second hit, 27 for 6.
I cannot believe it, but he is actually still alive by 1 hit point.
Oh my gosh. Do I have anything that could squeeze out an extra damage anyway?
Just let Urt have his moment.
Oh no, we can't let Urt have anything. Oh, hang on. When you hit a target with a Kensei weapon, you can spend 1 key point to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target equal to your martial arts die. So I can roll 1d6 extra damage. Haha! No
You,
glory.
Urt.
Oh, I did it wrong. /R 1d6. There we go. 6 extra
No!
damage.
Sorry, Urt.
You look over and Urt is holding Toad up and is like, "You are going to be such an amazing warlock."
Oh, I mean the body's still here, right? I'm not destroying
Yes,
the
the
body.
body is still here. Zann cuts in with his talons, manages to get a hold of the thing's throat, and crushes it to dust. Zann, you do take some singeing from this. I'm not going to make you do a dexterity saving throw or anything, because it's just,
Sure.
the fight's over. It doesn't fucking matter, man.
Okay.
Terry, just if you guys really want, we could use a different crystal to save his soul in particular.
Urt raises a hammer.
Shouldn't
Can
we
I
just
put it in canny?
I think we should just shove the whole thing into Katie because that would be like we need power. It was only at half strength before.
Valid point.
But do we really want to use him for just more energy? Or do you think he might be useful for something else, considering he was, at the very least, some level of lich?
He was a mummy.
He could control the undead, so he had necromantic abilities.
I mean, do we have that? Is that an option?
Yes, actually. Meanwhile, Lungthunk looks at Urt and says, "Hey, Urt."
He just shapes water onto it. Knock it off.
Lungthunk immediately looks relieved and says, "Okay, I like Big Stick."
So the question is, who are we going to put this llama guy into?
The question is not who, the question is, should we save his soul in particular for later?
Urt's looking at him as like,
He has some amount of necromantic ability, which means it might be useful for more soul collection.
Okay, Zann and Terry, quick look at the Necromancer spellbook.
Looking.
All right.
This is gonna take a little bit.
So, what level would you say he was?
This guy, he had 13 hit dice.
So that's level 13. Is that how that works?
Yep.
So
level 13.
what level spells was he using? I mean, I assume we sort of missed all this because we just,
He didn't get a turn.
dumpstered him.
Pretty much, yeah. He can cast up to 6 level spells.
Create undead, circle of death, harm, raise
What's the
dead.
magic jar do?
He had quite a few interesting spells. I like the idea of taking all of the energy that he took from us, but saving his soul in particular in a separate crystal.
I mean, if we can pull a circle of death out of his soul, I'm super down. All I'm saying.
What's Circle of Death do? Negative energy, 60 radius.
60-foot radius, 8d6 necrotic damage on a failed con save.
Okay, can we just shove him into a ring, into a crystal of Circle of Death?
I will absolutely allow that.
Okay, Urge is just sitting there. He takes out his personal crystal and is like, "Yeah, this is a good use for it." So, anyway, who wants to ring a circle of death, or maybe a
Zann-
pendant? I don't know.
I
How do you
feel
put
like
it?
I feel like it should not go to Urt. It needs to go to someone who actually will use it responsibly and not on emotional levels.
So
Urt doesn't even want it.
here's the issue, by the way. Circle of Death will not distinguish friend from foe. So if any of us uses it and any of the other folks are within 60 feet, it will hurt them. So keep that in
Well,
mind.
yeah, that's why you're supposed to yeet it.
Oh, we throw? Is it a one-use thing?
I will allow you to reuse it.
Really? That must take a lot of soul energy.
We could also do create undead instead and have I don't know.
You want to give Urt the ability to make undead?
No.
I do not recommend that in any way. What's Magic Jar do, though?
We can use harm for a single target 14d6 with a 60-foot range. That's pretty
Magic
good.
Jar. You basically take your soul out of your body and put it into something else.
Yeah, that's like making a lich. Is what that is.
That's like the most useless spell imaginable. Urt votes, we get that
It's
one.
essentially a way to make your phylactery.
Yeah, it's to start your phylactery for becoming a lich.
Yeah.
We probably want harm so we don't actually kill each other when we use it instead of Circle of Death, right? Because harm is a single target 14d6.
Yeah, so you could absolutely do harm.
Probably.
Imagine giving Terry the ability to harm people by putting his hand on their shoulder.
Okay, here's a question.
Range.
Why don't we just do this the most logical way?
Roll a die.
Roll a 1d6, and that'll tell us what spell we get.
Okay, so Magic Jar is 1, Harm is 2, I Bite. I'm just going down all the level 6s. I Bite is 3.
How come yours are in different order than mine?
I
Create
don't know.
undead.
Mine's in alphabetical order, so.
Mine's not in alphabet. Mine's in reverse alphabetical order. So let's do it your way then.
Okay, so numbers roll and tell us what spell he is.
Okay, let's see.
And it's going down to level 6s.
1. The spell is Circle of Death.
Circle of Death. Okay.
Okay.
So should we leave that to like in Terry's possession?
I think we just have a crystal of Circle of Death grenade. And
So-
Urt has it, and Urt is holding it up.
It's
like, behold.
Oh, wait, it has a range of 150 feet, so you can actually decide where it starts.
Correct.
Okay. That I thought it emanated from the person, so I'm an idiot. So Circle of Death is definitely the way
So
to
now
go.
the question, however, is who do we think is the most responsible in order to actually hold on to this?
Well,
Urt announces that he's pretty sure this is a crystal of summon undead.
Not Urt.
Zann takes it away immediately. I would vote that we give it to Terry because Terry needs more offensive magic anyway.
Look, we're giving one guy in the group the nuke. That's
I
all
would give
we're
it to
doing
Terry.
here.
I just give it to Terry, honestly.
Well, yes, because you're sane.
Exactly. So if Urt tries to hold on to it, Zann will try to sleight of hand it away from Urt.
Roll, bitch.
All right.
Here we go. Sleight of hand. And what do you roll to counter it?
Athletics.
No, sleight of hand. I'm trying to do it stealthily. If we're doing it while you pay attention, then I'll.
It's a perception check to notice.
shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to steal it. I got a nat 20, bitch.
Urt's like, shit, did you see where he went? He escaped.
Zann just holding the crystal in his hand, walks over to Terry, hands it to Terry, and then goes over to Urt and says, yeah, I think Katie ate it. I'm sorry.
Urt's looking at Katie. How was he level 0? That makes no sense.
I mean, he didn't do any damage to any of us.
Excellent point.
It's true, actually. The only damage that got dealt that entire fight was damage that Zann did to himself.
Like, we're going to walk out, and the soldiers are just going to be telling us about this giant battle with summoned undead, and we're like, huh.
Well, the thing is, that giant battle, quote unquote, only lasted 12 seconds because we killed the summoner immediately.
Imagine the soldiers on the front line. They're like, holy shit, they're coming right for us. They're freaking out, they're panicking, and they all just fall apart.
Like, right before they hit the front line, they just fall over dead.
It's like, oh, okay.
Pretty much exactly that. Like, there were undead llamas and everything.
I really want an undead llama now. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get Korean undead, but it's okay.
Did we get our energy back for Katie?
Yes, you did. And just one moment, I have to do something very important.
Oh no.
Yes, because you see, you guys are going to witness the wonders of Lunkthunk's new sprite in just a moment.
Oh. I
There
thought
you
you
go,
were the one
Zann.
drawing, but this is a shaggy drawing for the
No,
undead
no,
llama.
no,
Right.
I'm actually drawing it.
It's a skeletal llama. Okay.
No, what's happening is I actually have the original art for Lungthunk, and I'm now, like, drawing over it in order to show you what his new weaponry looks like.
Yeah, but while you were doing that, I drew him a llama.
Oh, I see. You photoshopped the battering ram into his hands.
Essentially, yes.
Where's that?
I am working on it.
Ah.
All right, that'll just be another moment. All right.
Terry gets tired and lets you guys beat the crap out of an undead man, and now he has the undead equivalent of a nuke in his hands.
It's true.
Like, Terry has no idea what's been going on with this day.
He's just so tired and done with all of you.
It's true.
Maybe not Zann.
And Erd is just sitting there. It's like, is this the second time we've done this to a boss?
I
Yes,
think
yes,
it
it
is. Yeah.
It's just, he's tired and done with everything. Maybe not Zann, but definitely Ert.
I think all bosses need to start coming with displacement fields.
I
There's
mean,
bugs.
yes, and also legendary resistance is a thing for a reason.
I think it needs to start being a thing.
Oh, we're
Well-
only what, level
6.
6?
Yep.
Well, that's why we have a level 6 spell now. Duh.
I did when do we get that level 20 spell? I did, I think, like 45 damage-ish, something like that on the first turn, so
Yeah,
Terry did not do much damage, but that's because he's a bard.
you lit him on fire though. That did a lot of
Yeah.
damage.
okay.
And
So I'm
stunned him.
posting it in the player playground, and I will also and I request that Leo find some way to show this to our wonderful viewers. Just uploading.
I've been trying to create Terry to be a bit more crowd control than singular,
Circle
so
of Death
that
works.
he can help you guys rather than being a soul damage dealer.
Okay, so I just posted our wonderful Katie 3.0.
Battering ham.
Tell me it's wrong.
Now, question: is it cured? Is
Yes.
it smoked?
Yes.
So, I'd like to point out that from Erd's perspective, this has been a very casual day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
So, you guys have killed Mutin Laman, and Zann is apparently riding a llama, as is his wont.
Zan's just riding around majestically. It is everything I ever imagined it to be.
It's true. So, as for the rest of the NPCs, so Ian Lortic and Catechus Temple head on up in order to give a report. They march on up to Terry. They both give a salute, and they say, Mr. Terry, sir,
Yes.
we were attacked by undead llamas of some description.
Yes.
For all
we
of...
handled the one who was controlling them.
Is that why they fell over 2 seconds after attacking us?
Correct.
There is a general sigh of relief, and they say, okay, that explains a lot. So, it looks like, given all the instruction that we've been tediously given by the Deep Gnomes, that all the surveying is complete, and we should be able to build the tunnel.
Wonderful.
Erd's just on top of this. Come on, guys, let's go.
They also have one small thing to mention as well. They have sent Belladon Ezrin as a runner back to the Deep Gnomes in order to collect your fee for the tunnel's construction, because, yes, they do pay in advance when they're certain that you're not going to come back. And you guys have gotten some more military budget.
How much?
You guys have just been given 8K
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Holy shit.
Uh,
Is that a lot?
Yeah, they did not like the idea of fighting a lich and a mummy and whatnot.
yeah. I mean, I wish the Empire paid this good. Like, shoot.
How's Zann's opinion on deep
Well, the
gnomes?
problem is the Empire just keeps paying in souls.
like Zan's tempted to take the 8K with the CRT and just leave the group. I mean, campaign over, guys. I'm rich. See ya. Peace.
Lordy. I will say that because you guys made the ring that allows you to cast Circle of Death, you are not going to retrieve the runic energy that Mutin Laman had stolen. So you are stuck at 46
Yes,
for now.
of course.
Just for now.
Yes. However, because this is the end of a session, and because you did not technically travel a map tile, you have completed a quest, which means that you get runic energy anyway.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. One moment while I check what that is. On status. God damn it. I knew I wrote it down somewhere. I just can't remember where. So I'll get to that later. Oh, today's violent session over. You have gone through on a practically no damage run of all the traps that I had. Congratulations. You got paid a large amount. You got a wonderful magic artifact that allows Terry to be a circle of death machine.
Fantastic.
And a skeletal llama.
And Zann might have to reevaluate his stance on gnomes. Maybe. He's still allowed to be angry at them, but maybe just a little bit less.
I mean, I like money. Money's good. Doesn't
He
mean I
needs
like
to be
people
mad at
paying me
them, but
money.
he doesn't have to be mad at them because they're gnomes.
Yeah, mad at them
Now
because
he
they're
has to actually have a
deep
reason.
gnomes.
Mhm.
Oh, lordy.
Mad at them because they like paperwork.
So as we turn this giant undead tomb?
Yes.
We're in a giant tomb.
Yes.
It's like, okay, everyone just walk through.
Imagine one guy just like going through, using mold earth in order to disintegrate the walls that have all these priceless, historical records on them.
Or yells, remember to loot them first.
And so, you guys continue on your wonderful journey on Regiment of the Run. And next time around, we will have the party finally make their way out of the underways and finally be free of the undead threat. Hopefully. Maybe. You know, if it does show up, maybe there'll be pushovers. Who knows? They might just be like Mutin Laman.
Look, we have just established that we can handle any amount of undead.
Toad holds up another flask of alchemist fire.
OSHA.
OSHA!
Oh, sha! All right, and with that, we end off for the night. Thank you all for coming, and I hope that you all had a wonderful evening.
Yay.
Good
GG.
day or night, whenever you're listening.
Goodbye!
Bye-bye.